This is the Mezco Sovereign Knight. It's part of the Mezco trilogy, representing the various stages of Batman's career. It started with the Ascending Knight, then the Sovereign Knight, and then the Supreme Knight, I believe. So I don't know. I guess maybe this is supposed to represent maybe Batman from the 70s. You know, his history changes as time goes on, and originally he was created in the 1940s. But as time goes on, they shift his origin date so that he's not a very, very, very ancient man. At this point, he would be surely dead. So I think that probably now his origin is probably the 1990s or early 2000s at this point. But we have a larger bat on this, a bat logo, than on the Ascending Knight. The bat ears are smaller, although I believe that the head that it comes with have larger bat ears. Um, the utility belt is slightly smaller, and there is quite a bit of difference in the outfit. So let me compare the two. So here's the Ascending Knight, and here's the Sovereign Knight. The Ascending Knight, the uniform, it's almost kind of rubbery. You can see quite a difference just in the feel and the look of the outfit. The utility belt is larger, as I mentioned in my review, almost comically large. Here the outfit is it's not rubbery anymore. It's not soft. It might look that way, I'm not sure. But it is textured throughout. Now his knee pads are a separate piece rather than woven in to the knees on there, and he's got more boots, no longer laces at all. So I think it's a good interpretation of Batman in the middle years. Now it's hard to tell, but I can tell you that the two bodies are the same. It might look a little bit thinner on this one, but I'm pretty sure that that's the same body. And that was one of the things I was a little bit disappointed on when I got this figure, was that I felt like in the middle years he should have gotten a little beefier. But he didn't. He stays pretty much the same, and he'll be the same in the Supreme Knight also. Is this Supreme Knight? I have to look it up. This was the one figure, the only figure I think I've ever, maybe not the only Mezco, but I gave it 4 stars on Amazon. And the reason was that when I got this figure, the original one I got had a problem with the placement of the knee, and one of the ankles was completely frozen, which is not completely uncommon. But I actually returned it. This was through Big Bad Toy Store, and they really just sent it right out. I give them credit. I think that might be the only. No, I think I've returned one other figure. Yeah, I believe I've returned 2 figures, and they are absolutely really excellent at returning figures. So the one thing about this figure that I did find interesting, so here it is on Amazon, and if you look on Amazon, now this is the figure that I have. It's the Sovereign Knight, the main one. So they have variants, a couple variants, 1 or 2 variants. I think they're blue or something like that. You could see thick lines all through there. And so when I ordered the figure, I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. And I didn't love it. I was a little confused as to what the point was of it. But you can't see it on here. So they are there. If you get in really close, the lines are there, but it's like they're not colored in. So I'm assuming those are so dark that I can't imagine this is just a different lighting. I'm assuming that early on they They colored in, so it's sort of a dark charcoal. Oh, and by the way, you could see the higher ears on this than on mine. So that this is, I assume, the original head, and then I changed. So you can see here, you got two separate heads, one with the high, and I thought that the smaller ears made more sense. Look at all the batarangs, a whole ton of them. I assume they think you're going to lose a lot of them. Um, so I assume that at some point they opted to not go with those lines on there and not color them in. And also the utility belt, you could see it has black in there, and mine does not have black. So this is not uncommon for the promotional picks to not look exactly like the figure. The one that I always think of is Dr. Fate, but also with the Superman figure with the cape length. They shrank it, which I think was the right decision, because actually what they ended up with looked more like more film accurate. So this is the second one, and then later on I'll show the third one. Let's see here. So there's the Sovereign Knight there. Yes, Supreme Knight. Okay, so that's the third one. And by the way, if you're looking at these prices, 199, I don't trust those prices. I think somebody put it out there, a third-party seller, and thought maybe they could get someone to pay 199, and maybe one day it'll be worth 199. But I'd be surprised if, when I went on eBay the other day, the prices on a, say, a used one weren't that far above um, the price I paid, the original price, which was about $80 for this figure. So despite the fact that I gave it 4 stars on Amazon, this actually, I think, it's a pretty good figure. So I may have been unfair, particularly since I did get it returned and in great condition. So this one is fine. There's no problem with this one. They're not perfect. None of the figure makers are.